Good evening once again. Welcome to the program with me, Gloria Mutesi.
And Jane Mutuni.
Hi, Jen. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm fine, thanks. How has your week been?
I think it was good.
You think?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, that's nice.
Yeah.
Well, starting us off tonight, as the number of people recovering from the COVID-19 pandemic continues to increase in Rwanda, experts in monitoring the pandemic in Rwanda are pleased with the results of the favipiravir treatment a month after it began to be used to care for these patients. It's been a month now since Rwanda started administering the favipiravir treatment to COVID-19 patients. Going by the statistics of those that have recovered from COVID-19 on a daily basis, about 9,017 people have recovered in this 1 month, hence putting the percentage of recoveries at 92.2% from 65.6%. Dr. Menelas Nheshimana, a member of the country's COVID-19 task force, says that the favipiravir has a significant role in the increase of people recovering and has reduced the length of time the virus lasts in the body for over 50% of the patients. This drug has had a significant role. We didn't only actually give it to patients in treatment centers, but we also gave it to those that were under the home-based care in critical condition. And we would follow up on them, and most of them would be fine by the 6th day with no symptoms. There are even some instances where one would test negative after just 3 days after taking this drug. So all this put together makes us realize that there are so many people that recovered. This is also confirmed by some of the patients who used this drug, saying that after using it, their symptoms were resolved quickly and they were discharged from hospital.
Uriya muti wa favipiravir ufite akamaro kanini cyane.
I believe this drug helps significantly in the treatment of COVID-19. The first and second time, I would take 9 tablets, and the days after, I would take 4 in the morning and 4 in the evening. I had headaches, loss of sense of smell, and lots of chest pain, but after taking favipiravir, all that stopped.
Gucika intege ibintu nk'ibyo ngibyo.
Ubundi jewe numvishije ibicurane n'urukorora.
For me, it started with a flu and a cough, and then after I lost my sense of taste and smell, I went for a COVID-19 test and I was told I was positive. I was later discharged after just 4 days when I tested negative after I cleared all my dosage for favipiravir.
Ubwo ibya binini wari wabimaze?
Nabimaze byose.
Dr. Menelas Nheshimana explains how this drug works and enables one to recover within a short time.
Kugira favipiravir twego byaje ari nk'igisubizo.
The favipiravir drug blocks a certain gene in the body named the RDRP that is typical of the COVID-19 virus and helps it not reproduce, which helped us a lot. And we saw that it helps clear the virus out of the body in a short time, because before we would see people have the virus for up to 14 days. There are even some who would have it for up to 2 months. Today, up to more than 50% of people with COVID-19 are able to clear from the virus in 6 days, which is a good thing. The continued decline in the number of COVID-19 patients is part of the reasons the recent cabinet meeting resolved to ease on some of the restrictions and measures to fight against the spread of the pandemic. The current decline in COVID-19 patients in Rwanda goes hand in hand with the decline in fatalities from the virus. However, medical experts urge everyone not to be complacent, urging the infected to seek treatment and for residents to avoid confusing the virus with other diseases like malaria, but rather test early the moment they get symptoms.
Well, the National Bank of Rwanda reports that the COVID-19 pandemic has aggravated credit risks, resulting in the restructuring of loans worth more than 799 billion Rwandan francs, representing 31.7% of total loans. Sam Kalisa has more on this report.
Eden Business Center, located in Runda sector in Kamonyi district, is one of the worst affected by the COVID-19 pandemic due to the nature of its activities. Samuel Nyandwi, the deputy director, says this led to a revision of a loan agreement they had with the bank. What the central bank did about restructuring the loan agreements we had with banks helped us to not have any problems with the banks that would be caused by a delay in paying off the loans. Our production reduced a lot. They didn't tell us the exact grace period, but in general, we thank the idea because it will help us to prevent any problems with banks because there might be a delay in settling the dates considering the current situation. Muhawenimana Noel, credit officer at the Bank of Africa Rwanda and the head of Association of Microfinance Institutions in Rwanda, Muranga Aimable, says some business owners restructured their loan twice due to the effects of the COVID-19 pandemic. Some requested for a second loan restructuring, and that's what we're dealing with now. If COVID-19 continues, because we thought this could last for a short period, but the longer it stays, it becomes hard for people to settle their dates. The challenge we had was the lockdown last year, and later some activities were opened, but as you know, there was another lockdown this year, which negatively affected trade. Customers are coming back, and we are offering them what we offered them last year. Economic expert Strato Habyarimana says contract restructuring is good but deserves attention. Restructured loans are insured more than other loans. That means that a delay in settling the date caused more loss to the banks. It is clear that Rwandans now know their rights, which is why they consult the bank in case of any problem. But again, if things continue this way, credit risks might increase in the near future, which could be a problem to the financial sector, because it reduces profits for banks and microfinance institutions. The Central Bank of Rwanda's Financial Stability Management Committee reports that as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic, the country's gross domestic product fell by 4.1% in the third quarter of 2020 compared to the same period in 2019. As of the end of December 2020, banks had outstanding restructured loan agreements worth 799.9 billion Rwandan francs, or 31.7% of the total loans. In the microfinance sector, the revised loan agreement were valued at 14.8 billion Rwandan francs, representing 7% of the total loans. In the insurance sector, the unpaid insurance premium has gone from 4.9 billion Rwandan francs in December 2019 to 8.5 billion Rwandan francs in December 2020. Sam Kalisa, Rwanda Television News.
Thanks very much, Sam Kalisa, for that story. Now, the Rwanda Cultural Heritage Academy is warning those who mix Kinyarwanda with other foreign languages to stop because this form of speaking devalues the language. They say new words which previously did not exist in Kinyarwanda are being created rather than just adopting them from other languages.
As Kinyarwanda is one language shared by all Rwandans, some of the citizens, including the youth, say they are worried about the progressive erosion of our language due to foreign languages that are being mixed while speaking. They say something must be done to solve this issue. Foreign languages nowadays are dominating Kinyarwanda in such a way that some children are growing up not knowing how to fluently speak their own mother tongue. For example, these days it's almost impossible for one to spend 30 minutes speaking Kinyarwanda without mixing it with foreign languages. This means there is a possibility that it could disappear completely. In my opinion, I think this is an issue which could affect our future generation because even to us, it's hard to use Kinyarwanda as often in our daily lives. It's a problem because our future kids may not be able to speak fluent Kinyarwanda as well. This is why parents and teachers should establish strict measures of teaching children how to speak Kinyarwanda fluently. An analyst of literature, Rwandan history and culture, Ndayishimiye Janvier, says if people could pick interest in learning the fluent way of speaking Kinyarwanda, this could prevent it from losing its originality. A Kinyarwanda writer, Wazirushaka Isaiah, agrees with Janvier, saying this could affect Rwanda's culture. It's not just our language, but also our culture as well, is slowly fading. Yet there are qualities of it that other countries would learn from. In other words, Kinyarwanda must be spoken fluently, even though we still get some words from foreign languages. But again, it must not be destroyed.
Kigomba kugira ibyo gitira ariko nanone ntabwo kigomba kwangizwa. Muri rusange washishoza neza yasanga ururimi rw'ikinyarwanda rwugarijwe.
In general, there are many reasons as to why our mother language is losing its originality. Usually, a mother language anywhere in the world is part of the identity or culture of that country. The issue of mixing Kinyarwanda with other foreign languages may also be interpreted as wiping off its existence, because if we keep mispronouncing some words in Kinyarwanda, then the future generation will do worse.
Ukavuga uruvangira uzabyara wazaza byafashe indi ntera.
The Deputy Director General in charge of Language, Culture Preservation and Promotion in Rwanda Culture Heritage Academy, Jean-Claude Uwiringiyimana, says the citizens should stop mispronouncing words in Kinyarwanda on purpose, just to show that they can speak other languages. He says programs are being put in place to teach Kinyarwanda to those who never had the chance of learning the language, and new words are to be added to the Kinyarwanda vocabulary.
Hari abagikoresha mu buryo
Some people choose not to speak fluent Kinyarwanda because of this mentality that if they mix it with foreign languages, they will be perceived as more civilized. To me, I don't see that as being civilized. On the contrary, I see someone that is devaluing his or her own identity and values. Some of these people are among those that are looked up to in the society. The second group of people are those that never got the chance to learn Kinyarwanda, which is why we have established a program called Ndigi Kinyarwanda that will help them to learn Kinyarwanda. The third group are those who complain of some words not available in the Kinyarwanda vocabulary, which is why we are planning to invent some words which are to be used in various domains. The International Mother Language Day was celebrated virtually in order to adhere to the COVID-19 preventive measures. It was celebrated with traditional dances, music, poetry, storytelling, and the presentation of awards to those who used Kinyarwanda fluently, people that include the youth, poets, musicians, journalists, and researchers. So tell me, Gloria, can you spend 30 minutes honestly speaking fluent Kinyarwanda without mixing with any other language?
Ako Jen, ubuso urashaka kuvuga ngo ndusha kuvuga Ikinyarwanda. Have I proved you wrong?
Yes, you
Well,
have.
I know it's not 30 minutes,
Yeah.
but I probably speak it better than you.
Wow.
Yeah? I think we should have a competition and have like spend a whole day speaking Kinyarwanda and we'll have like a judge.
We both know I would win, right?
That's what you think. Well,
All
over
right.
to you now.
Well, let's move on to the Gakenke District Administration says the construction of more than 101 kilometers of roads in the solution to the challenges of poor connectivity to markets and the livelihood of the people in general.
The construction of these roads is part of the infrastructure plan that President Paul Kagame promised to the people of Gakenke district during his visit in March 2016.
Minister of Infrastructure,
To the Minister of Infrastructure, you are in charge of roads. How can all these feeder roads not be functional all this time? In Gakenke, we are doing our best to construct tarmac roads and others are still struggling to get feeder roads.
The residents are very glad about these roads that are being constructed as they come to solve the issues of poor connectivity affecting trade and people's lives in general. It was expensive on a motor from Gichuba to Janja, and it was 5,000 Rwanda francs because of the bad roads. But now that they are going to construct the road, the fares will be low and will be able to access health services in Gatonde. To start, the roads under construction are Gichuba Janja and Chivuruga Mbatabata. Work is in full swing, machines and trucks are at work, and a number of residents have been hired. Those that got the jobs are happy that this is going to be a foundation of their development. We're going to develop ourselves and we'll be able to get ourselves health insurance. According to the Gakenke District Administration, in addition to the Gichuba Janja Road being constructed by the government of Rwanda through RTDA, the other roads whose construction has begun and others that are yet to start are funded by the World Bank. The mayor of the district, Nzamwita Deogracius, said that the completion of these roads will facilitate trade and access to various services. What's most important is that the road of Gishuba will be able to connect to the hospital His Excellency gave to the residents of Gakenke district. Before, the ambulance wouldn't be able to navigate through this bad road, but after its construction, residents will be able to use the ambulance at fair prices, together with farmers being able to transport their produce, as well as students accessing schools easily. The roads to be built in Gakenke district include Gishuba Janja, Buranga, Kamubuga, Rutabo, Chivuruga Mbatabata, Kabyaza Kanyiramenyo, Base Rutabo, Gashenyi Karambo Chinoni, and Ruhanga Viziba. More than 100 kilometers of roads will be completed at a cost of more than 14 billion Rwanda francs. The most of the roads will be constructed in no more than 3 years, with the Gishuba Janja stretch to be completed in 1 year.